So here we are in the Woodlands, Stoke Woodlands, above the caravan site, and I'm just going to walk along and show you an interesting little feature that we've noticed a few years ago, which we think may be an unrecorded Bronze Age burial mound. Now there are a huge number of these in the Peak District, probably 600 or more, that have been catalogued extensively by John Barnett and John Collis. However, this one isn't on the map, and it's quite an interesting landscape setting for such a monument, because typically we do find Bronze Age burial mounds in the Peak District to lie in these zones which could be considered to be not quite in the upland but not quite in the lowlands, so typically overlooking river valleys on flattish shelves like this. And I know it's a little bit difficult to see because of all the vegetation, but this is topographically like a flat shelf. The land does go higher up onto the very top before dropping back down to Eyam. So as I said, this is a good location for this kind of monument. So let's go and have a look at the actual feature itself. It's impossible to say whether this is just by looking at it, and in fact something we ought to bear in mind is the fact that this could be an artefact of industrial, historical industry, because there's been a huge amount of quarrying around here. In fact, over to the north, south and east of us, all around us there are extensive leftovers of gritstone quarrying. The caravan site itself sits on a spoil tip as such, and there's a disused one that went out of use about a year ago just down over there. So it's possible that what we're looking at here is some kind of waste dump for some historical activity, but equally, if you look at the size and shape of it, it could well be something that's quite typical of a Bronze Age barrow as well, possibly with a primary or a number of urn burials, cremations in here. Very typical example was the one that was excavated by Jim Rylett and Mark Edmonds and Bill Bevan and John Barnett at Gardham's Edge, well, probably about 15 years ago now. I just have many examples, but the problem is we can't tell just by looking at it. This is a case in point where we would need to do an exploratory excavation to take off that top layer of soil and see what we've got underneath in order to diagnose it further.